So I kind of just want to talk about the experience with this car so far. It is a BMW 335. It has the N55 motor. It's a 2013, so it is an LCI. I have had some pretty bad experiences with this car, but nonetheless, it is an amazing car to own. Yeah, things like that really help the experience of this car. And just overall, the car is just, I don't understand what separated it from everything else to me. There was a few things, honestly. Personally, the looks really did it for me in this car. Definitely the M Sport. I had to have M Sport on it. Ambulance coming by. Recommend buying a tuned 335. First of all, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, first of all, especially if you're a first-time buyer like me. You don't really understand what you're getting yourself into. Especially because things can get expensive real quick, like what happened to me. I bought the car, he had it from California, the previous owner had it from California. He brought it to New Hampshire, and I don't know the reasoning why he sold it, but I have no idea the reasoning behind that. So I had to wait for the title to get from California all the way to Massachusetts to where I live. And it really wasn't the best thing for me. It took me a month and a half to get the title just so I can register the car. I got temp plates in February, and I went on my first drive in late February. I can't remember the exact day. So I just started driving around the city, picked up a few friends, and my girlfriend, of course. Went on the highway, went to go see what this thing was all about, and the first issue happened. That amazing transmission light came on. So that wasn't a great thing. But, so what happened was I was in fourth gear. I was around 4,000 RPMs. I went to go kick it, and the thing just started freaking out. The transmission just went all the way to red line, just started freaking out real bad. And it wasn't a good sight, especially because my friend caught it on video too. That was kind of funny, but honestly, that was probably the reason why you don't buy a tuned 335, because I didn't know that you needed a transmission tune to hold in some of the power that was required with some of these cars. So the transmission needs to be tuned as well as the engine. So whatever you do to the engine, you gotta actually do to the rest of the car. So if you're throwing big turbos, upgraded precision coil packs, fucking charge pipes, intercoolers, all this crazy shit to the engine, you gotta expect some problems with either your axles if you're doing dig racing, first of all, or you're gonna be expecting transmission issues if you don't tune your transmission. So like I said, I got a new transmission put into it. It's a low mile. It had 35,000 miles when I got it put in. It was done by Woodward Motorsport. It was in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, but they moved their shop to a new place. I can't remember exactly the name of the place and where it was. But it's definitely exciting for that shop. They got a whole dyno room and some other cool shit going on in that room, in that little shop they have now. But 100%, if you're gonna buy a car that's tuned, ask for service records, or even any car. This goes for any car you're gonna buy. Go for service records, and go for ask them about what they did to the car and where they got it done, if they did it themselves, and ask for any certain things that you think would consider being red flags. Red flags I would consider is honestly probably by themselves, because sometimes people do it their first time. They try stuff on their car for the first time. They kind of experiment with their first car, and they just hide that. They kind of hide that. So I definitely would look out for that. But honestly, the other thing that happened with this car that I can't quite understand why is certain things like random check engine lights and freak codes that happen. Just it's not like it's an actual issue. It just happens. But honestly, if you are in the market to buy one of these and you want a more reliable option, I would go with a 2011 to 2013 335 if you want the E92 body style. Because the E92s are they're a timeless design. The E92 M3, the E92 335, the fucking 328 even. It's just, you can't get enough of it. Especially with the sound quality you get. These sounds are just really, oh my god, they're amazing. I can't get over it. I just can't. Honestly, it's just a dream come true knowing my first car is honestly my dream car. And it's just like, it doesn't feel real when you get your dream car. You get your dream car and you're just like, wow, I really achieved that, you know? So a few other things I want to talk about. Main issues with these cars are definitely, I've heard actually that rod bearings on the N55 are quite a common issue. So I would definitely look after that. If you're looking to buy a 335 over 100,000 miles, I bought mine with 100,000 miles exactly. I would definitely ask about rod bearings or anything like that, because that's a very, very big job if you don't know how to do that shit yourself. If you don't have a lift, if you don't have anything to do it with, I highly recommend looking into that issue with these cars. The other thing is, ask about like the water pump, if that got done or anything. I definitely would ask about a few other things considering the engine itself. So like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but there's a few things. So like I said, the water pump, you want to think about, definitely look for leaks on the engine. Definitely want to look for leaks. When you're going to buy used a BMW or any car in general, you want to look for leaks. You want to look for anything that kind of catches your eye. Certain things, you know, you want to look for things that actually don't look right. And sometimes you gotta trust your gut. If your gut's telling you not to buy the car, don't buy the car. It's definitely something you want to listen to. Listen to yourself. Some of these things can get financially unstable. You can become very financially unstable like me, owning one of these fucking cars. But nonetheless, like I said, you just can't get over the sound quality of these cars. And honestly, you know, they're nice cars. You gotta love them. Is cheaper than buying a stock car unless the cars had cheap parts that were put into it, cheap oil filters, anything cheap really related. Definitely with any car you want to buy, if you are gonna be buying a built car, you wanna know that the parts are quality and how they put it you want to make sure everything that was put together was also quality. You don't want to be buying a car with like an eBay turbo or a freaking like Chinese spinny boy or whatever you want to call it. I've done not a lot, but I've done some research, and honestly, these cars do have quite a bit of common issues. Quite a bit. So like I said, maintenance first. I know a lot of other people on YouTube are saying, oh, maintenance first, do that first, don't be throwing other stuff at it. And they are 100% right. You want to listen to everyone that on YouTube that says maintenance first. They will get you to where you want to be with your car. Yeah, you're not going to get all the fun stuff you want to get right away, but honestly, if you want to make your car last, you got to get the maintenance done. You can't just start throwing all these insane things at the car hoping it would be fine. That's not really how it works. Other things that are honestly pros about this car, and honestly, this is just a personal opinion. Honestly, I have 5 things. Definitely the looks, and definitely with the LCIs, you get the updated taillights, you get the updated headlights with the LED xenon headlights, and honestly, that it changes the car. I know that some of the older ones have like those older yellow xenon headlights, and it just kind of gets outdated, you know? So perks with coming with a newer car, a newer generation, you get newer stuff in the car. And if you're gonna buy E92, I would definitely recommend looking for one with the iDrive system. So the iDrive system is basically another computer screen you have on your car, and it's right next to the gauge cluster. It gives you all your radio stations, it gives you your telephone, all that stuff. It gives you the vehicle info, so it gives you your oil level. It lets you check your tire pressures, it lets you check your vehicle, like everything that can go wrong with the car. It lets you get a whole vehicle check. It makes things so much easier if you have an iDrive system. And honestly, it makes life 100% easier. And the other thing about these cars I heard that were common to go, that I'm actually having an issue with right now, is the Valvetronic motor. So, the Valvetronic motor is, I didn't know it was a common issue till I got it, and I started looking at it, looking into it on YouTube and stuff, and forums, and I heard a lot of people saying, oh, on the n55 it's a common issue with these cars. So I was like, oh wow, I didn't know that. So you learn something new every day whenever a problem happens. 100% look into that. It's quite a bit of labor. If you can't do it yourself, it's going to cost a lot in labor itself just to get the Valvetronic motor out, because you got to take the eccentric shaft out. You got to take all the springs out. They're all loaded with pressure on the eccentric shaft, so you got to be careful with that. You don't want to damage anything. You got to take the valve cover off, ignition coils, spark plugs, all that stuff. It's a pretty big job, and I'm still saving up to have enough money to buy the Valvetronic motor. The Valvetronic motor itself isn't a lot. It's only around 150 bucks to 200 bucks. But the labor itself I'm saving up for right now to get it fixed, because I don't have the tools to take the injectors out. I don't have the tool to get the springs off because they're loaded with a lot of pressure, and if you mess those up, you can potentially need a new engine after that. That's what I heard. And you don't want to mess that up. That's a big no-no. You don't want to mess that up unless you want a new motor. So like I said, if you're buying a built one, I consider a project car not a daily. Not a daily. Unless you want to daily it and and you're a mechanic and you know what you're doing, go for it. But if you don't know anything about these cars, you don't know anything about the engines, the transmissions, the axles, anything, even just the computer system in general, definitely would not recommend this as a daily, especially if you're buying it built already. You know, when you buy a built car, usually they don't buy it just to build it and sell it. They buy it to build it, to have fun with it, and have fun is equal to beating on it. So they're going to probably be beating the shit out of it, driving it really hard, the way a BMW is supposed to be driven. which there is no problem with that, but you definitely don't want to daily that if you don't know the history of the car itself. And honestly, even private sales or even from a dealer, they might not know what's going on exactly with the car. There may not be lights on it, yeah, and you might be good for another few. What the fuck? What are you doing, bro? Doing a U-turn, illegal U-turn, bro? As I was saying, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, like I said, so dealers and private sales, honestly, in general, you gotta watch out for, because first of all, if someone sells to a dealer, they could potentially tell them that, oh, there was no really bad issues with this car and all this other stuff, but they could be hiding something. That's the thing. So I would definitely recommend asking for service records, all that stuff. What else do I want to talk about? Honestly, and from like the bottom of what all I've been saying, owning one of these cars really made me learn and understand these things a lot more. I've learned so much owning this car, and without owning this car, I probably wouldn't be as engaged as I would be with BMWs in general. But definitely owning one definitely makes you curious of not even just your car, other BMWs, M3s, like the S55 and the F80 M3, the new G80 M3s. And it just puts you into curiosity, and you just start to wonder if you want another BMW, what those issues are going to be and how you'll be able to fix them yourself if you want to. If you want to get it tuned, if you want to just put crazy power to it, what you need to do first. And honestly, it's kind of like a repeat process. With these cars, there's so many different options for turbos, ignition coils, valve covers, oil pans. Like, it just feels like an unlimited amount of options that you can like do. Even just like regular cosmetic upgrades. Like, you know, carbon lips, carbon hoods, carbon trunks, or even just in general, black hoods, whatever you want to do, wrapping the car. Exterior mods go for anything, even wide body kits. If you really want to go that far and bag your car, go wide body, bro, go for it. But definitely buy one of these cars, in my opinion. It'll change your life. I mean, it may change your life badly, but it also may change your life really good, and that's honestly what I like doing. This thing has really changed my life positively. It's made me so many friends through this car. I've made so many friends through this car. It's absolutely ridiculous. I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think a vehicle can change, like, who you talk to and what people you talk to at car meets and people coming up to you. I used to drive my dad's Toyota RAV4 to car meets and stuff. I know I wouldn't get attention, but I was looking to talk to other people about their cars and stuff. But now that I own a car that I know other people dream of, because I've been to a few car meets and people say, oh, I dream of having that car, I dream of having that car. Like, yeah, dude, go for it. You can own this car. Gotta just save up, work hard, get your money. Just don't buy stupid shit. And I know I do that from time to time, and I am not in the position to be buying stupid shit. But I made it happen. I made my dream car happen, and that's what matters to me. I put the work in, I put the effort into school and all that stuff. I'm still in school, but just knowing that I can actually drive to school, knowing I have my dream car and I can keep going and keep building this car to what I want it to be 100%. And I honestly think in the next 5 years, 6 years, I'm gonna have it the way I want it built. I had a dream and I'm gonna make it happen. Perseverance, motivation is all you need to make dreams come true, bro. And it's wild what you can do when you really put your mind to it, to be honest. Oh, another 335. That's funny. And just saying, so I bought this car built, and so I put together how much it costs to go pure stage 2, full bolt on, and all this other shit that's been added to this car. So I've added the cosmetics, I've added the upgrades to the engine, I've added the transmission tune and all that stuff to this car, and to the list of how much it's gonna cost. So the list came out to like $10,400. So what included was the pure turbo, the pure stage 2 turbo, the transmission tune, the precision coils, carbon fiber duck lip, high kick spoiler, the charge pipe, the intercooler, the high pressure high flows, and the low pressure high flow fuel pumps, or however you want to say it. I can't remember. I'm still learning, but I know there's a fuel pump that it's on top of your engine, and then there's also a fuel pump right behind your seats. I believe that's the low pressure fuel pump, and the high pressure's in the front. The high pressure was a pretty penny. That was pretty expensive. And the Apex wheels, Arc 8s, and it's just, if I had to do that myself, that would be expensive. That would be really expensive. Around $10,400 just for the parts. Labor, if you don't do it yourself, is a whole nother story. That's probably another, I want to say $5 to $6 grand, to be honest, if you do all of it at once. And honestly, it makes these cars wicked powerful. I'm probably pushing 470, 480 to the wheels. I know that these cars usually, the n55 can't really push much power. It can probably push under 600 max, 550 to 600 max, because this engine wasn't really built to do that kind of stuff. But if you want to get something you want to build and make really powerful, I really highly suggest getting a B58 or an N54. I know a lot of people are saying N54 is still king, but honestly, dude, B58 is honestly the wave to go, I think, at this point. We've started unlocking the potential of this B58, and seeing some of this shit is absolutely wild. All-wheel drive 340s, all-wheel drive M340s, all-wheel drive X3 M40s. People have been throwing insane amounts of power at them, and they've been doing insane on the dyno. They've been doing insane on the track. They've been doing insane drag racing. It's ridiculous, and I'm just like, my car can't compete with that. It's just absolutely ridiculous. An N54 is still definitely a crazy way to build power for single turbos and all that, but I think we're starting the revolution to the B58, to be honest. N54 is still going to be out there. It's still going to have a lot of parts, but people are starting to build the new Supras because they have the B58s, and everyone's saying it's a BMW. Yeah, it's a BMW engine, but it's also a Toyota. It's built by Toyota. Just Toyota and BMW had a collab. And those jokes are honestly getting really old, to be honest. I don't laugh at those anymore. It's just childish. And honestly, I really do want one of those Supras. They look insanely good, and they sound incredible. It's basically a 340 is what I want to say. Ooh, there's an M340 right up here actually. A nice white one. Wow, that's gorgeous. Yeah, definitely. I definitely want an M340 or a 340 in the next car for the next car, dude. Oh, I can't switch my mind up between an M340 or F80 M3. It's obviously going to be a while, but that's at least one of the next cars I want to get. A 340, an M340, which is going to be a lot more expensive, or a F80 M3. But I can't choose. And if there's anything else that I missed, let me know. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I kind of just wanted to go over a list of what I like about the car, what I don't like about the car. And I know I didn't reach on a few topics. I don't really understand too much about these cars still. I'm still learning, like I said before. But I'm trying to give my best information. I know some of it might not be accurate, but a lot of the information that I'm trying to understand is about accurate as I can get, I think. If I'm wrong, let me know. But thank you guys for watching. It's just, I want to help people that want these cars, and I know I'm not the only YouTuber you guys are going to be watching, but I kind of want to help people with these cars. Thanks for watching. See you on the next episode.